Hi everyone, I'm Tim Eads with Tuft the World. Today we're going to be doing an update on the machine comparison video. So I'm going to be walking you through the 4 tufting machines that we sell. So they can be broken down into 2 categories, low pile and high pile. The low pile machines have a maximum pile height of about 18 millimeters. The high pile machine, which is pneumatic, can go up to about 60 millimeters.
Wait. Before we go any farther into the video, I think it's important that we pause here and I just show you some examples of what low pile loop and cut are and high pile loop and cut. All right, so I'm going to show you some examples of low pile loop and cut. In this first sample here, we have a combination of both. This is the low pile loop here, and this is the loop set to the lowest setting, and you can see that it creates kind of a nubby texture. This was tufted with 2 colors of yarn and the needle at the same time. The same on this, so this is the cut section here, and you can see that it creates a very low pile cut. So low pile cut is actually really great for carving designs into or accentuating features. In the second section sample here, we have another example of low pile cut. So I just organically tufted in here, and then it kind of creates more of a painterly effect. And then in the final example, we have again a combination of low pile loop and low pile cut. The low pile cut in this instance is actually at its highest setting, which is how the machines come. So you can see by combining both the loop and the cut, you can get some really cool texture with this. So now I'm going to show you some examples of the high pile cut and loop machine. All the samples that you see here are tufted with the AK3. So that is the pneumatic plus electric machine, which we'll get into later in the video. So in this small sample here, we have, you can see a lot of the variation that happens with the AK3, and this is all cut pile. You can see that it can create pretty high shag, but there can also be a full range of pile heights here by simply changing the needle and feed wheel on the machines. So this is an example of cut. So the other cool thing that the AK3 can do is it can really tuft a wider range of yarns. So this is an example of this is the lowest setting for the loop on the AK3, and you can see here that this is the kind of variation that you can get with the high pile machines. Another example here of some high pile loop. So this is about 1 1/4 inches. So you can see the variation, and this sample here was tufted. 1 strand was green and 1 strand was the pink, tufted at the same time. So you can get this kind of color field like this. Here's another example of the high pile machine. This is actually, the silver yarn is silk. So it kind of has this texture to it combined with high pile cut. So you can see the kind of variation there. And finally, the last sample here is also high pile cut, and it's kind of hard to see here, but if you look closely, you can see that the green tufts are slightly lower than the gray, so it creates just a small amount of definition, but not a ton. Now that I've shown you some examples, let's get back in. Sometimes you gotta Now let's get back into the video where I show you the differences in the machines.
So to start off, we have the loop machine. This is the low pile loop. You can tell the difference between the loop and the cut pretty easily by this black belt. So the loop is belt driven. It also has just a simple kind of needle mechanism here. So this machine can be adjusted pretty easily up to about 18 millimeters. Next we have the cut pile, the low pile cut. And you can see the difference here is it has a large white gear. It also has a pair of scissors that come and cut each pile as you tuft. So this one also has a maximum pile height of about 18 millimeters. Both of these machines can work on AC power from 110 up to 240. It has a simple power adapter that you just plug into your wall that can convert that power. Next up in the low pile category, we have a new machine called the KRD. The KRD also can do cut and loop, whereas the blue handled machines can only do one or the other. This machine can do both cut and loop by changing out a few parts. It is also low pile and can only do maximum about 18 millimeters, which is about 5/8 of an inch. This machine is powered to 110 volt electricity. So if you have 220 volt, then you need to get a different machine. So that is all of the low pile machines that we sell. The last machine we sell is a high pile machine. This machine is the AK3. It can go from about 16 millimeters up to 60 millimeters. It comes with a set of needles that you change to change the pile height. It is pneumatically and electrically driven, so an air hose has to be connected here. So you need a pretty significant air compressor for this one to operate. It also has an AC adapter, AC-DC adapter, so you can plug this in the wall anywhere up to 240 volts and it will work in your house. So that is just a quick snapshot of the different kinds of machines that we sell.